and they rejected an asylum for a politician that went there to seek for asylum. What does that show you? It shows you that they know what is going on. It shows you that the information about Nigeria is in the public. It shows you that the world is not novice. They are not ignorant of what is happening in Nigeria. They know. But you ask yourself, why are they silent? That's the next question. Why are they silent? And even as we are celebrating that very information came, another one came this morning. I was just browsing and I saw another breaking news. But this one is disturbing. This one is disturbing. After you see it, you now realize that you are on your own. The news I saw this morning, when you look at it, you will know that you are on your own. And that is why today we choose a topic which says, self-determination remains the right. Remains a right. Self-determination remains a right. Blackmail from Nigeria and saboteurs won't stop Biafra freedom. Self-determination remains our right. The blackmail from Nigeria and the saboteurs will never stop our freedom. But you will not just say it and go to sleep. You go to work. I'm going to bring up the news that I saw. A very disturbing news that I saw this morning. And this is a breaking news in Nigeria. I want you to pay attention. While we were busy celebrating the news we saw in Canada, another one sprang up from the US. But this one is unbelievable. This one is unbelievable. And I want to bring it up. I want to bring it up so that we can be able to see what is on board, for you to know that we are on our own. We are on our own. If anybody is deceiving you or telling you otherwise, you better wake up. You better wake up. I bet you better wake up, because what is happening today is not ordinary. Our freedom will only come by what we do. And if you think it's all over, we are just starting. We are just starting. This is the top news. Look at it. You can see the news there. This is a breaking news today. US approve 346 million weapon sale to Nigeria to fight terrorism. The United States of all people, with Donald Trump in power, the same Donald Trump that designated Nigeria as a state of concern before, today is selling weapons to Nigeria, a terrorist country. United States approves 346 million weapon sale to Nigeria to fight terrorism. The question is, which terrorism is Nigeria fighting? You just heard in the speech of Mazen Nandekan I played that Nigeria is adamant in fighting terrorism. Even when they talk about Boko Haram, why is it that Nigeria never mentioned anything about ISIS? ISIS in West Africa, that are the major terrorist group. Instead, they are working with ISIS. And these same people that are working with ISIS are the people that the United States has approved the sale of weapons to them. Now you see why I say we are on our own. Can you imagine at this point in time that a Canadian court have designated Nigerian government as a terrorist government? United States of America approved 346 million weapon sale to Nigeria to fight terrorism. How does this add up? How does this add up? This is the same Donald Trump that gave Nigeria ban on acquiring weapons during his first term. During his first term, he gave Nigeria a ban on acquiring weapons. Has anything changed since then? Things has even gotten worse. As of today, things has gotten worse times 10. things have gotten worse. But in the midst of that worse situation, the involvement of Nigerian government in terrorism have increased. They have taken more lives. They have sponsored terrorism more. They have done so many things in connection with terrorism, but yet the United States of America is selling weapons to them. But remember, in his first tenure, even Donald Trump himself, his government delayed the supply of the Tucano jet. He delayed it. And at last, when that Tucano jet was about to be delivered, he gave conditions on how to deliver it. But today, that same man is in power. And today, it is America first. He's focused on America, not on you, not on me. And when you see the way they are fighting their own terrorism, tell me a country that a Canadian court have said that this country is a terrorist country. I don't know how else to explain it. When a Supreme Court in a country tells you that the major parties of a particular country, the ruling party, the people who are in charge of a country are terrorists, what again do you need to hear for you to know that that country is a terrorist country? What again do I have to tell you? How again do you need to be convinced that this country must not, you don't have to release any weapon for them because they are not serious. This is the same way they sponsor Taliban. This is the same way United States sponsored Taliban directly and indirectly. And later they left. When they left today, every single weapon they have supplied to Afghanistan, the Taliban are using it. They are using it. They left it there. And today, look at United States approved 346 million weapons sale to Nigeria to fight terrorism. In a time where Nigeria has been designated as a terrorist country by a court in Canada. Now you see the double standard. You see why I tell you that this world is about every man to himself. Donald Trump doesn't care. He told you from the onset that America first. And as long as he wants to get money for America, make money for America, and get resources for America, he doesn't care what you feel. Look at it. And let us go down and read what is written there. Look at the information is there. The US approved the sale of 346 million worth of ammunition, bombs, and precision rockets to Nigeria to help its West African ally combat a surge in terrorist violence. Imagine. The deal will support the foreign policy goals of the United States by improving the security of strategic partners in sub-Saharan Africa, the U.S. Department said in press release Wednesday, just this Wednesday, day before yesterday. You can imagine. This is the same Nigeria that the U.S. has information on how, that has a president that is a drug baron, a president that has everything to do with the criminals. The same U.S. that is in front line of knowing the atrocity that is happening in the north against the Christians, that they call headers clash. These people will be saying one thing on one side and they will be saying a different thing on the other side. They were there. Canadian government. Do you think that a judge will just come and declare a leading party in a country terrorism just like that, without information, without facts? Do you think it can happen in the Western world? It doesn't happen. Before the Western country will come and pronounce a word, they have facts. They have facts. And we go on to read, say the Nigerian government requested a long list of weapons, according to the statement, including more than 1,000 MK-85, 82-500, MK-82-500 IB bombs, a weapon which was most recently used by the Israeli military to bomb civilians in Gaza. They requested for a weapon that was just used recently by Israelis to bomb civilians in Gaza. Which civilians do they want to bomb in Nigeria, if not the Biafrans? Why don't the US ask them, which civilians do they want to bomb, if not the Biafran people? All this while, even their Tucano jet that they got everything, they were using it on Biafrans. Their military is fully in Biafra land, even when the northern part of Nigeria have been taken over by the terrorists. People are still in IDP camp. More people are joining them in IDP camp. In the north, they are not doing anything. But what they are focused, they are trying as much as they can to drive the Biafran people into the IDP camp, which is what our Liberation Army are fighting today. You can imagine the kind of weapon they are requesting. The Nigerian government requested a long list of weapons, according to the statement, including more than 1,000 MK-82 500 IB bombs, a weapon which was mostly recently used by the Israeli military to bomb civilians in Gaza. So why are they requesting for this? Why is Nigerian government requesting? Who are they going to use it for? On who are they going to use it? Which civilians do they want to apply the same measure that was applied in Gaza? It is the Biafran people, you and I. You and I. You see why you should stop gossiping and prepare yourself for what is coming. You see why we should focus on how to defend our life. I said it, declaration is one thing, defending the land is another thing. Defending the land is another thing. And you go ahead to say, the deal also include 500 precision rocket kill weapon system, APKWS, later guided bomb kits, high explosive rockets, as well as technical personnel service. This is all they are demanding. Where are they going to use this for what? And the United States is providing all this for them. The proposal cell will improve Nigerian capacity to meet current and future threats through operations against terrorist organizations and to counter illicit trafficking in Nigeria and the Gulf of Guinea, the State Department said. You see the grammar. They will always use something to cover up their evil deed. You have supplied Tucano jet to them. Why don't you investigate and find how they use the Tucano jet and where they used it? We have proofs on their use of Tucano jet in Biafra land. The bombs they used were picked up, made in the United States, and our Liberation Army showed it online, on pictures, on videos. And yet, you are here providing more ammunition to them, claiming they're going to use it to fight in Gulf of Guinea. When we say we are on our own, we have to put ourselves first. This is it. Nobody is going to come for your aid. Except you raise the bar. Raise the bar and put yourself on the front line. Nobody is going to help you to do that. And that is why I come online on a daily basis, even in a difficult situation. I'm not supposed to be online today. I'm not supposed to speak here because I'm very strong. I'm not supposed to speak, but I have to come. After I saw this news, I have to come. Nigeria has experienced a surge in attack in the north by terrorist group Boko Haram and Islamic State, West Africa province Iswa. This is a fact. But what are they doing? What have they done about this, all this? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Instead, they are supporting them and promoting them and re-radicalizing them and putting them into their military and their police. The only news you hear is that they re-radicalize them and introduce them to the police and the army. And how will you be supplying such kind of people an ammunition? How on earth? The insurgents has led to widespread displacement with thousands killed and entire communities uprooted. But Nigerian military is ramping up offensive to reclaim territories. I don't really know. You see, this is why I say that these people are hypocrites. They are hypocrites to the highest level. The actual thing that is happening, they know the actual thing, but they are painting it to be up. They're just making it to look simple. They know the fact. There are people in IDP camp that have been there for 20 years. They were born in IDP camp and they got married in IDP camp. These are people that have their own country. They have a country that is supposed to protect them. They have their homes, they have their farms, but they were driven for the past 20 years. Children who were born in IDP camp have grown there and got married in the IDP camp. And the government is not doing anything about it. They are not doing anything. Instead of doing something, they are acquiring weapons to go and fight people who said enough is enough. People who are asking for self-determination. If they are serious to fight against the terrorism in Nigeria, they have more than enough to tackle it. They have more than enough. How many times have you had them use the technology in the area that's supposed to use it? They're using it on Biafran people. That's the area you see jet flying all over Biafran land. You see jet flying all over Biafran land. Meanwhile, in a place where the terrorists are in charge, you don't see them there. And today, they are looking for ammunition that was used in Gaza so they can use it in Biafran land. You can imagine. The insurgent has led to widespread displacement, which is correct, with thousands killed, millions, not even thousands, an entire community uprooted. That's true. But Nigerian military is wrapping. They are wrapping nothing. There is nothing they are wrapping up. Nigerian military is not wrapping anything up. They are not. Instead, this Boko Haram have increased. These terrorists have increased. They have taken over some barracks. Aren't you hearing it? Haven't you seen in many cases where they went to where they pack these ammunition and they take the ammunition and they move? We have seen the videos. We have had them take over some of their barracks, took over the equipment that worth billions, and they left with it. And we have never had that the military went and recovered those items. We never had any move to go and recover those items. And you are now supplying them more. You are supplying them more. The weapons you supply to them have been falling into the hand of terrorists. And they do this intentionally. Because if it's done intentionally, you make effort to recover it. We have not had of any effort. Each time we hear that the military take over, the terrorists take over their barracks and take weapons, we never hear that it was recovered. Never. And there's not even any attempt to recover. And here are you, supplying them more weapons. The country has eliminated 592 terrorists in the northeastern state of Borno. These are figures they give to you. There's nothing to back this information up. There's nothing to back this information up. Over the past 8 months, there is nothing to back this up. Chief of Air Staff Hassan Abubakar announced on Tuesday. There is no fact. These are just figures they put online. There is no fact, no picture evidence, no video evidence to show us that this is true. And they didn't tell you about the ones they are reintroducing into the military. They didn't tell you that they are reintroducing terrorists into their military, into their police, into their forces. They didn't tell you. And you are busy supplying them more weapons. This year, our air campaign is quicker, more precise, and more surgical, Abubakar said. We are eliminating high-value targets. Rubbish. Absolutely nonsense. Crippling logistic network and dismantling cells and threatening peace in the Northeast. These are absolute nonsense. Many kidnapped individuals, families, school, people are still in the terrorist net up to today in the North. In fact, the northern part of Nigeria have accepted their fate. Many of them are paying tax to the terrorists, even to protect them. They have accepted their fate to work with the terrorists. A new delivery of precision weapon from the US could be a major boost to Nigeria's counter-terrorism operation. This is the worst thing I have ever had. The worst thing I've ever had. In a time like this, and you see this kind of news, you are not worried. I don't know the kind of Biafra you are looking for. If you see this kind of a news in a time like this, you will now understand what we mean when we say we are on our own. Put your own self first. Put your country first. Nobody is going to do it for you. Nobody. Nobody. Not the US, not the UK, not anybody. It is you that is going to fight your battle. That is why we have to desist from focusing on irrelevant issues. Because they don't care about you. They do not care about me. They don't care about you. And they don't care about me. We have to rise up and do what we have to do. Fight this battle before us. The only way we can win it is to begin to do what we are supposed to do. Look at the high hope every one of us had. Can you imagine that in the time of Donald Trump that you'll be hearing this kind of a thing? Can you imagine that? But look at it. A breaking news. Even in the time that the Nigerian government have been designated a terrorist government by a court in Canada. This is coming out. This is really, really sad. But we must continue and never give up. You're welcome, my beloved sister Ijoma. Sister Ijeoma, you're welcome. Please go ahead and speak.
Thank you, Mazi Chiefs. I don't know if you hear my voice. I'm not supposed to come in, but I came in because of what you are discussing. I lost my voice a little, or my voice went on holiday. So,
I'm so sorry.
Like what you are saying, I just have 3 points to make. Following your analysis. Good morning, Biafrans. Happy holiday, everyone. Good morning, our beloved Mazi for keeping on. We appreciate your efforts so much. So, what I want to say, Biafrans and the government of the United States of Biafra, this is the time for us to keep working. This time is very crucial. This analysis and this news is not taken for granted. It is time our people must rise up and write to America on this very news. Remember, that was the time they made this move, and we wrote, and it was stopped. Every government is for their own interests. That's why always I remind our people, the world has gone to community. So those calling Trump, calling Israel, those people are not hearing you. Even if they heard you, they will pretend not to hear you because they have their own problem and they're not calling you to come and solve it for them. So the earlier you rise up for yourself, the far better it is for everybody. Now, it is time any Biafran that can write anywhere, write, our government, write to stop this nonsense because everything they are buying is for us, which everybody in the world is seeing. But if we don't talk, if we don't rise up for ourselves, nobody will rise up for us. If they say it's democracy, we must talk for democracy to at least acknowledge us. So in this very issue, we must keep quiet, we must write. If it's possible to even protest against it, those in America, we protest against it. Very crucial, very important. Because who, like you asked, who are those weapons for? It's for Biafrans. No other. It's for Biafrans. Canada just said one, America is doing the other. So it's only us that will keep countering, keep talking, keep fighting because it's our own life. It's no other person's life, but ours. But ours. You see? So Biafrans rise up and do the needful. The needful is we must talk, like Mazi Chiefs is doing. We must write. We write to America, foreign affair, internal affair, whatever affair. Our government must put their hands on paper and write to them. Why? If we leave this to go, it's going to go another step to our own risk.
Exactly.
To allow this to pass, it's going to go to another step to our own risk. The earlier we understand this, the better for everybody. The very better for everybody. We must write, put it in writing, and make sure it gets to them. Their Senate, their lobbies has to go on this to stop it because it is not normal. It is not correct. If there is democracy, if they choose to keep quiet, but they cannot choose to kill us indirectly. Because now, you know, everybody in the world knows who are sponsoring who. It's no longer a news. We know. And this is a red flag. We have to know Africa is rising. These people are ready to give even their own life to anybody to make money for economy to work. We must understand. I can't put in here because all able one engine. In the next 5 years, more than much this way. In the next 5, I'm not saying 10 years. I don't know if people are seeing what I'm seeing, but it is already on the ground. I'm telling you. Move for the work. Before move for the work. Here about sign the economy. Each and all could no as somebody here with the so I can you and all the game, how will you come over again? Get a red passport again, get a green or a yellow passport again, get a blue passport. About what to get to take you with this. You close over again. Or was I here? Now my shot again. In my man, get to know because human beings we are made to change. The man never I favor hugging. He is up to the but I have favor hugging. Then when their place start favoring people, are you not going to go back? But when you did not arrange your place to go back, where will you go to? Ghana. like in the Ufodun Diba in the Ajego
No,
on Ghana.
Ghana,
Watch
Ghana,
what is happening in Ghana. You go United South America. Watch up this what is happening in South America. There is no place like home. Nkegi bụ Nkegi, nke anyị bụ nke anyị. Until it's not Nkegi, you will not have our own. You will first have my own, makes our own. Until our people understand this. And you cannot know justice if you have not tested injustice. Our people must know this and stand up for themselves. Ihe ndị a na-ezuzugharị, ndị amị anyị, ndị liberation army na-akụ eri n'anya. I'm ka ha na-afụ ihe na-eme. Ebe ha nwere phone, I hope they will see the right news. Ha raise ha bitin tekwa onye agbara ụlọ ọkụ, ọgbara ụlọ onye kwụrụ ụgwọ si ya bụsa elu, agbaghị ụlọ onye kwụrụ ụgwọ si ya bụsa elu. Ọ ụlọ nke ya ka agbara ọkụ. Common sense that make no sense to many people. And it's common sense that is not common. My dear brother, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Biafrans. We must keep doing what we are doing. Don't hide your money. We need your money now. Everything I need to go, ego. What the nega? Let us once I with our resources. Enjoy. Maru na ha nwere obodo nwekwa na ebe anyị nwere kịta as of today ị nwere ike na chukwu na na-azọ gị na-anata nwere anyị nwere obodo ị nara obodo gị you cannot walk freely you don't even know from Lagos to ebe ihe ga-eme encounter ma ọ na plane nwanyị it's not safe na anyị nkịtị it's not safe onweghị ihe na walk onweghị onye na-check anything. The better we understand this and tell ourselves the truth, the best for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, my beloved sister. You have spoken very well. I appreciate you for that wonderful contribution. It is time for every one of us to wake up and do something. It is to your intent, O Israel, just like my sister said. Whenever we are rising, they themselves are falling. And that is why they will never allow us to rise. That very line of speech of our sister is very important. Always have it. Wherever you are in this part of the world, they are enjoying and living better. Anytime your own country, Africa, begin to rise, you will see a depreciation in their own side because they depend on us. And this is why they directly and indirectly do not want us to succeed. This is why anytime you are putting your hope on them, know that they won't do anything for you. They won't. As long as their own economy is not threatened, they will still be there pretending. It is about them. Everybody is putting their own country first. And as long as the government in power serve the interests of their country, they don't care. They will support it with everything they have. They will support it. And that is what you are seeing today. That is what I see today in what the US is doing. You can imagine the same Donald Trump that banned the selling of weapons to Nigeria because of the atrocities of the government against the Christians in the north. That has even increased. It has increased now more than it was then in his first tenure. The situation is worse now than it was in the first tenure. That he stopped and even gave a stop to the supply of the Tucano jet and later on to release it with condition. Today is the same man that is prepared to sell ammunition to Nigerian government only in the name of tackling insecurity that he knows that they will never tackle, and they don't have any such in their project. The only project they have is going against their own people, going against the masses, taking the life of innocent, more especially the Biafran people. This is the same man we all had a high hope for. Everybody, oh, we want Donald Trump to win and come. Oh, we want him to win and come. Today you can see his hands are filled up. It is America first. To him, it is America first. And anything that serves the interest of America is where he stands. Are you going to blame him? Of course, no. I won't blame him. The only thing we have to do is to pursue things that also serve our own interests. Anything that can put us on the front line to make people to have a rethink. Anything that is why this legitimization of Biafra is very, very important. Legitimize anything that will make us, anyhow we can be able to make sure that we legitimize Biafra. That is why I use that phrase that declaration is one thing, but the most important thing is holding on to that declaration. That is the most important thing. That is defending it. Defending it is where the thing is. That is where the main cocoa is. Defending it. Because if we defend it, all this nonsense will not come up. It is not going to bother us. And that is why we have to wake up. Let us stop the lies, propaganda, blackmail, unnecessary infighting that doesn't make sense. Why the enemies are emboldening themselves. If you are in this restaurant of Biafra and you see this news, you're not shocked, you're not disturbed. I know you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. If you see this kind of a news and you're not disturbed, you don't know what you're doing. You better go and choose for something else to do. You don't know why you are here and you don't know what you're doing. My brother Greg, you're welcome. Please go ahead and speak to us, bro Greg.
Yeah. Mazi, good afternoon.
You're welcome, my brother.
Yes, I had a sister is there. It's like he's gone. Good afternoon, Biafrans, and well wishers of Biafrans all over the world. Yes, today is a new day, another day again. We thank God for this day, for His mercy and life for our families. We thank God for the life of all the Biafrans and well wishers. And we thank God for our leaders, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister, and all the Biafrans suffering in the dungeon. Thank God for their lives. And we pray for God's mercy upon them, especially those who are being carried and nobody is aware about where they are about. They are aware about the Biafrans that the enemies took away from Biafra land and nobody can give the account of them, if they are alive or if they are dead. We pray that God will continue to expose Nigeria and God will expose the secret of where they kept those people and what happened to them. We pray for the life of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, for God to grant him more health, strength, that he will live to see his suffering in Biafra, to see his what he suffered for and enjoy what he labored for. The same thing we pray to our leader, Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister, that God who started the work with him and give him the spirit to pray the prayer that he prayed, that God will use him to end Nigeria, that the same God will keep him alive and accomplish what he promised to do with him. That is our prayer this afternoon through our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, Mazi. Many things are happening that we cannot always control. One thing you must understand, and every Biafrans must understand, is this. In every part of the world, there is people that is honest. There is people that are corrupt. In every government, you see the same thing. So, as we had the news of the judge who understood very well what Nigeria and Nigerian government and their politicians is made of, and he gave his pronouncement about the APC and PDP, knowing fully well that these people are terrorists in politics, terrorists in army, terrorists in the government, terrorists in the in the Senate House, terrorists in government house, every governors, most of them. If there is 36 states in Biafra land, at least from that 36 states, minimum 30 to 32 or 33 are terrorist people. Terrorism depends on what they are terrorizing and what they believe on. So, and the same thing is in every part of the world. So, when the Canada pronounced that Nigeria government is terrorist and their political parties are terrorists, this very judge is 100% right, and she or he got the full information. But that is not enough, because he is a judge, he had made the pronouncement. But the people who are in the government, who are the decision makers, the people who are in embassies around the world, The people who are in position for the foreign affairs, majority of them that work with foreign, especially the Africans, majority of them are corrupt, very, very corrupt. So when anytime they have anything to do with the Africans, they know the Africans are 99.5 or 0.8% corrupt. They use that opportunity and enrich themselves. I'm just telling you the truth. There is no single person that worked in Africa as an European or American that came back from there and become poor. I'm just telling you the truth. None of them that went Africa and came back and he doesn't have this minimum. He will have, if you cannot count his houses and properties in Western world. That is the fact. Even some who went there just like ordinary business. Somebody like Julius Berger, let me use Julius Berger. Which estate can you tell me that Julius Berger have in Nigeria? But there is no foreign company in Nigeria that has sucked oil money like Julius Berger. So what property, can you count a pronounced property that owned by Julius Berger? If not those contracts, he will be sucking in Nigeria through his government, and he will be sending the whole money back to Europe. While our own, we steal the money and at the same time bring it down to Europe here. So when we start thinking about what is happening, like we talk about hoping about Trump, I never put my hope that Trump will do anything for Biafra. The only thing that made me to support the Trump administration to come back was, can you say, is for him not to accept the push for Nigeria as they pushed to Finland to arrest Mazi Simon Ekpa. That is the only thing they can do. Because I believe if he were Democrat in that place now, I don't think that person like Dr. Ngozo will be moving around anyhow. That is the fact. So this is only where they might, in a way, relate a little bit. But if any person thinking that the Westerners want you to stand on your own freely, you are lying. That is the fact. So, you don't be surprised for them supporting Nigerian government by giving them those millions of armed this thing for them to come down. And the point is this: if they are using this indeed for the terrorists, it would have been a different thing. But they will not use it for terrorists. They will only use it in Biafra land, and the remaining one they kept in North. The ISIS, the Boko Haram will go to the military and pack all of them. They will just walk inside there and take all of the whole military, all the whole army and the whole equipment. So America is indirectly supporting the Boko Haram and the ISIS in Nigeria. They will do it in a way that they are supplying them equipment to fight terrorists, indirectly sponsoring the terrorists. Because Nigerian army is not ready to fight terrorists. They are the terrorists in themselves. There is no way a terrorist will fight a terrorist. They are in the same, fighting for the same cause. So when they send those equipments to them, they will call those their foot soldier, the terrorists, and say the equipments, the military, the arms have arrived. Come to the barrack and take them. They will come to the barrack and do one, pack the whole equipments and start using it against the Biafra people and the civilians, against the Christians, terrorizing everybody. And America will turn up and say, we supply Nigeria to some equipment to fight terrorism. It's not true. So one thing you must understand is there is people who are corrupt in every government. In the Biden government, there was corrupt people. In the same thing that is happening in the, what do you call him? Trump government. Somebody was telling me that Trump is marrying one of the child is married to a Lebanon, a millionaire, and that Lebanon millionaire is living in Nigeria. That married Trump, the daughter or the son married one of the child from this Lebanon person, because he's a very rich and he made his money in Nigeria. How did he make the money? It is through corruption and all those deals they are dealing in Nigeria. So these people can be used to do anything they want to do. It's negotiation and lobbying. So when we talk about lobbying, it depends on who is in position. He can always lobby for them. They can use any person to go and get whatever they want. It's a business. So once they can get their own, it doesn't matter what's happened. That is not they are not interested. So that is what is going on. That is what happened during Biden administration. The Biden administration Biden saw purely what was happening during his regime in Benue, in Enugu, in Soka, and everywhere against the Christians, and he called it a fallacy. That is a scam. So, but this person come out and spoke against it, and they are using their corrupt people in the foreign ministry, like ambassadors and the foreign ministers, to do their deal. Yeah, when they do it, it's the matter of 4 years. They know that this man have 4 years. They have to do something to get some of their own money. There is corrupt people in the government, in Trump's administration, and as well in Biden administration. So it depends on whom they are using to negotiate all their deals. So don't be surprised if all this kind of thing is coming up. So that is the point. So what am I trying to say is for Biafrans not to look hoping on any person to come and fight for them. Nobody will fight for us. The little we can do is what will help us to get our freedom. Otherwise, we will remain in slavery. That is where it pains me when the people who supposed to know the level of what they are into, and they're not taking it serious. They will be jumping here and there, looking for whom to blame, jumping here and there, looking for money, jumping here and there, looking for power and position, instead of focusing on what they are supposed to be doing. Any man that focuses in what he's doing will always know the right thing and the right place to be. So all this one, they are dancing here, and the people who are not focused, who have a different interest more than the freedom they are fighting for. That is only thing. So there is no other thing every Biafrans must understand is the freedom is our hand. Trump will not come and fight it for us. If we joke with our freedoms, it will be like the Benue Oka overthrow. After when they succeeded in removing Bangladesh, they went and they smoked India hemp. When they have not secured the power, and then the army raised and gather all of them and finish them. So that is what I'm seeing in this Biafra thing that people are doing. They started very well. When everybody started praising them that they're doing good, they relaxed and they used themselves and leave the thing they're supposed to be doing and focus. Instead, they started looking for praises, looking for respect, looking for position, to be the most respected person, where you have not even achieved what you are fighting for, and you are looking for respect. So, and position, it makes no sense. So that is for Biafrans who are still sleeping to wake up. And the worst thing that can happen to us is for us to not to understand the level of what we are fighting for and the danger that we are in. I pray that every Biafrans, and especially those in back home, especially those that are defending the land, they will know and realize the kind of mountain they are climbing, understand the kind of risk they are in, understand the pressure and the importance of what they're doing. They will not even have time to come out in the program. All this you see is burning their houses, chasing them up and down, is because they refuse. They refuse to align themselves according to instruction by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the Mazi Simon Ekpa and the PM. Don't bring yourself in the camera. Don't bring yourself in the media. Focus on what you're doing. Don't contact any civilian. Make sure that you are not in the media. Instead, they disobey. Every time they will come and make a video, every time they will come and make be on the media, and people will be knowing them. Their enemies, their villages know all of them. Every Igbo man is not hard to if I have your name and know where you're coming from with your picture, it will not take me a day to know the family where you're coming from. So they are the people who are doing all those things against themselves. So that is what we are going through. But I pray they will realize their mistake and they will have focus. Thank you, Mazi, and God bless you.
Bless you too, my brother. Thank you so much for your contributions. I appreciate you. Every Biafran that is watching, this issue has to be an issue of concern. Every one of us has to wake up and begin to do what we are supposed to do. This news is not a good one. It is not a good one. And we should begin to speak about it in all our platforms. For US to agree to sell weapons to Nigeria at this time, at this point in time, it is really disturbing. It is really disturbing. I could remember when one of our brother always come to platform here, our brother Akonye Wetere. When he comes, he will say that Trump might stay all his tenure, go out, and he will never mention anything that has to do with Biafra. And some of us will misunderstand him and feel that he doesn't know what he's saying. But when you look at things that are happening, that's why I say in everything that people say, pay attention, listen, pick up this information, just wait for a while. Don't be too fast. Don't be too rushed to talk against your brother, against your sister, because you have a different view. Just watch some, in a very short while, you begin to see the picture of what your brother is talking about or what your sister is talking about. Just wait for it.